In our last video, we left northern New Jersey and headed up towards New York City via the East River, and then headed over to Long Island Sound. Spent a couple of days with friends in Connecticut, did some grilling, did some gambling, and then we headed over to the Newport, Rhode Island area, where we will spend most of the summer in the Narragansett Bay area. So in today's video, we'll showcase Newport, Rhode Island, where we are anchored for about 2 weeks. We'll be hanging out in the harbor and seeing some of the sights. We'll talk about the mansions and why they're so popular. We'll take you down Ocean Drive, and we will stop at Castle Hill, one of our favorite spots along the harbor. Then we'll circle back, cruise around the harbor for a little while, maybe catch up with Captain Ron, and we'll tell you a little bit of fun fact about a former resident.
Have you ever dreamed of selling it all and cruising into the sunset? Well, that's exactly what we did. It's no fun going it alone though, so why don't you join us for the ride?
We are currently anchored in Newport, Rhode Island, inside the harbor, where you can anchor up to 14 days. The other options are to take a mooring ball, which averages between $45 to $60 a night, or to take a slip, which is cost prohibitive. We've seen them anywhere from $10 to $20 per foot per night, so that's certainly not for us. Newport is famous for its mansions, which are managed by the Preservation Society of Newport. It's a short walk up from the harbor. There's over a dozen of them, and they could all be toured. Probably the most famous of the mansions is known as the Breakers, which was previously owned by the Vanderbilts. The mansions are located on or off Bellevue Avenue, which is in the oval on this map. Another of Newport's attractions is called the Cliff Walk, which is about a 2/3 mile paved walkway behind the mansions. It takes you along the mansions in the water. It's definitely worth the look. We also recommend renting bikes or a car and circumnavigating Newport along Ocean Drive, where you'll see some beautiful views. You'll also pass by Jay Leno's very nice mansion, which is on the water. So as you circle around Ocean Drive back in towards the harbor entrance, there's a place called Castle Hill, which is an inn and event space with long scenic views over the harbor. It's one of our favorite spots. Definitely need to go there at least to have a drink. And we decided to stop on this day because it was Lori's birthday. They have both inside and outside dining, and also Adirondack chairs out on the lawn, and drink service there. You absolutely cannot beat the views here, and there is boat traffic all day long, sometimes ships coming in, lots of authentic schooner sailing ships and tour boats going back and forth. Always something to see hanging out at Castle Hill. But bring your wallet because it's going to cost you. New this year at Castle Hill are the blue Adirondack chairs that you could reserve for larger parties. Back in Newport Harbor, we like to take the dinghy out every day, kind of cruise around the harbor, check out all the old and restored boats, the super yachts, and everything else that's going on. And obviously, Newport has fuel services, both diesel and gas, and you could also get a pump out. Tour boats in Newport take on all shapes and sizes. This one happens to be a power boat, but there's plenty of old-fashioned schooners that'll take you out. They go out multiple times a day, and some have booze cruises. There's some sunset cruises. You'll see bachelorettes all the time. It really is a great way to see the harbor and to see Newport. This looked like the Formosa sailboat from Captain Ron, but I'm not sure. If anyone can identify it, leave a comment. Another one of our favorites, and one requested by the birthday girl, was 41 North. Again, you better bring your pocketbook. Does anyone see a pattern here? These are our friends Bob and Sharon. They actually grew up in Newport and have a mooring ball in the harbor. So it's great to hang out with them because they know exactly what to do and where to go. It's like having our own local guides. And here's a random fun fact for you. Sharon's dad used to own a marina in Newport and is also the guy in the photo, the iconic photo from the end of World War II in Times Square. That's Sharon's dad. We hadn't had the bottom cleaned on the boat since Florida. It's been a few months, so we hired some local divers to do the job for us. It's easy enough to find divers in Newport, as there's hundreds of boats and small ships there, and they're always working on boats. Just hanging out at anchor, we had a bunch of these fearless kids come at us in these little sailboats. There must have been about 50 of them in total. A lot of fun to see. They come real close to the boat and seem to be able to navigate these little things very well.
How's it going?
You can hear the instructors barking orders at them now and then, but also the kids trash talking each other as they go to the point where they'll be racing.
Nice power cat. Thanks, man.
That young man obviously has some good taste. Some interesting carbon fiber racers.
69. 70.
These racers move effortlessly and need almost no wind to get that boat moving.
Nice little dinghy dock here.
Newport is super cruiser friendly.
One. Got the Harbor Master's office here. And we have the vending machines. Kind of a communal area here. ATM. Handicapped restrooms. Ladies' room. Local chart tables here. TV. Excellent facilities, showers and baths. You can buy a book for $1. Place is cavernous. Beautifully clean laundry facilities with new machines. Pretty girls doing laundry. And the cakes.
And every once in a while, you find a yacht with its own helicopter. And Newport has its own resident tall ship, the Oliver Hazard Perry, out by the fort, and you can go aboard for tours. The first few weeks that we were in Newport were often foggy, which is kind of odd for the summer, midsummer, but we still made the best of it. You can see here all the anchor lights and the fog bank rolling in behind the boats. Eventually the weather broke though, and we were treated to some nice sunsets.
So this is my Magna gas grill, where all the grilling magic happens. A little slightly disassembled now because this shield here, heat shield, corroded away. The bottom corroded away. I'm only getting heat on one side, so I'm trying to fix it and put it together, clean it out. Got some new parts. I already took out the burner unit here. I've got a new one that I'm going to put in and a new shield coming. So that's the project du jour. So the first item to be replaced is this burner tube here. And you can see all these small jets for the propane, for the flame. My last tube, these were all corroded and coming through with a yellow flame. Probably should be like a blue flame coming through all the way. And I was just getting it at the end, so I was only heating up like 1/4 of the grill. So this is long overdue. And you just slide it in here. Screw it down right over here. Easy enough. This little fancy unit is the heat shield. Looks like there's a tab on one end here that fits into a slot. And this tab at the other end slides this way and disperses the heat from the burner all the way through the grill. So the other one was definitely corroded. This will do the trick. This is the finished. They're slid in here. Slid in the end there. So it wobbles a little but dissipates heat. Easy as that. Essentially all the guts are new other than these grill plates here, but basically refurbished this for about $75 versus buying a new one for over $400. So I'm sure it's going to be great.
So the one negative about being in Newport Harbor is it can get rolly because some big ships come by through the Narragansett Bay Channel and throw some good wakes into the harbor. And this one hit us broadside. I think that'll wrap it up for this week, but join us next week where we'll take a trip over to Block Island.